Hello, so I have chosen a Donald Trump campaign speech which was held in Wisconsin, and I'm going to use the rhetorical pentagon to analyze the rhetorical tools that Trump uses in this speech, and thus find the intention of the speech. So the topic is, of course, Make America Great Again, which is Trump's slogan. But the main topic of this speech is how Trump wants to make the American communities safe from crime and lawlessness. The circumstances are, of course, the U.S. presidential election, and since this is a campaign speech, it means that Trump wants or hopes to gain votes. And the speech was held in Wisconsin, and I presume it was on the 17th of August, since the transcript is from this date. The majority of the population in Wisconsin voted for the Democrats in the 2012 presidential election. So Trump's aim is probably to gain votes in order to prevent the people in Wisconsin to vote for Hillary and the Democrats again. And the sender is, of course, Donald Trump. And the primary audience is the people in Wisconsin, the people present. And the secondary audience is the Republicans and the swing states and the people of the U.S., since the aim is to gain votes from the U.S. citizens. And, well, throughout the speech, Trump uses different rhetorical tools and methods in order to captivate and arouse an interest in the audience, and to make the audience reflect on their own opinions and personal situations, and also to persuade the audience into believing in his political messages and statements. And Trump, he starts off by establishing ethos for himself by using the so-called sponsorship ethos, which we can see in this quote. And by mentioning these people with a high trusted status in American society, it helps Trump appear more credible, and thereby mentioning them at the beginning of his speech, the audience will think of him as someone to trust throughout the rest of his speech. And Trump, he uses logos 3 times during his speech, and it's quite interesting because he uses logos in order to support or underline a statement. And, well, it means that he does not use logos in a regular manner throughout his speech. However, when he uses it, he really goes into depth and mentions many statistics, numbers and percentages. As we can see in this quote, it's very, very long. And however, it's all very superficial. But the use of logos, it makes Trump's statement seems trustworthy, and it helps him to persuade the audience in believing in him. However, he does not elaborate on the facts that he presents. He just states them to make his point about why they should vote for him. Well, because he wants to make a change. But it's all very superficial. And Trump, he also uses pathos in order to show empathy and to sympathize with the audience. And he makes the audience think that he is the one to help them, even the ones who usually does not feel as if their voices are heard by politicians. And we can see it in this quote. And, well, he's talking directly to their hearts. He says, I am running to listen to your voice, to hear your cries for help. And thereby he makes them feel like he is the right one to vote for, and that he will help them no matter what. Furthermore, he's also talking to the minorities in society. We can see here the quiet voices in our society. and thereby he makes them believe in the fact that he will listen to them and protect them. And this is actually very important because the minorities, they constitute these sections of the population that he is losing. And another rhetorical tool that Trump uses several places in the speech is the rule of three. By mentioning three things in a row, you can easily attract attention to your point or statement, and it also makes the audience listen attentively to the rest of your speech as well. And this quote is actually also an assonance. We can see here the repetition of the R vowel sound, the rioter, the looter, the violent disruptor. And by mentioning these words, which then furthermore creates an assonance, Trump he achieves to attract an awareness in the audience on the topic of the speech, and it makes it very memorable. And in addition to this, it helps underlining his message about how he wants to make the American community safe again. And Trump, he also uses an anaphoric repetition when talking about the Democratic, or how the Democratic Party has run nearly every inner city into financial ruin. And by repeating they here 3 times, he creates an us and them contrast between the Republicans and the Democrats, and he portrays them as the bad guys and their era as a bad period for American society, and thereby he persuades the audience in believing that he's the good guy who will come to their rescue and save them from this bad change that has happened through the past 8 years. And the fact that the anaphoric repetition also creates a triad, well, it makes his intention of using this rhetorical tool even clearer, because it really underlines the fact that he wants to persuade the audience in believing that they really should not vote for the Democrats if they want change. And in continuation to this, another rhetorical tool that Trump uses in order to underline this message is the rhetorical question, are you ready for change? With this question, Trump is talking directly to the audience, and he is referring to the fact that he wants them to consider whether they want change or not. Therefore, he wants them to make up their minds about which party they want to vote for, the Democrats or the Republicans. However, by asking this question, he actually manages to manipulate the audience's minds, because Trump asks the question after listing many bad things that have happened in the past couple of years, therefore ending it by asking a simple question such as, are you ready for change? He has already made himself sure of the fact that the audience will answer, yes, of course, and thereby support him and the Republicans in the presidential election. So to conclude, Trump's intention of this speech is to persuade the audience or the people in Wisconsin to go vote for him and the Republicans on election day. And by using these different rhetorical tools, he makes himself seem as someone to rely on and someone who will listen to them and sympathize with them and make a change for everyone in society, even the minorities. And Trump manages to make himself look good by speaking ill of the Democrats and creating a convincing us and them contrast between him and the people of Wisconsin, and then Hillary Clinton and the Democrats. Furthermore, he makes a lot of repetitions in order to make sure that his statements are remembered by the audience, and besides he also asks some manipulating rhetorical questions to underline the message and intention of the speech. And Trump, he wants to inspire the audience and make them believe that he will make the changes that the people want, and as he says himself, help young kids get on the American ladder of success. Yeah, that's it.